Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks so much for joining. Throughout the past few webinars, we've covered a lot of ground. Today, we want to finish up and really talk about optimizing all of your technology stack and being deliberate about it using collaboration design as a tool to really make sure that you're getting the most out of your technology spend. I'm Matt Worsta. I'm going to lead just the kickoff here. I've invited Natalie back, who I think you've met before in the series. She's going to walk through and talk about a little bit more how this works. Collaboration design is an intentional planning and delivery of collaboration services to your teams, right? For those of you who aren't familiar with collaboration design, a lot of organizations provide the tools to their end users, but they don't really provide specific or concise guidance on how to effectively use those tools in the context, both of the organization, but also a specific business process that they're used in. A lot of times what happens is the full functionality of the tools doesn't end up getting used, or there are multiple tools that do the same thing because there are probably gaps or learning gaps, if you will, between the two. Your tools change over time. Frankly, your market is changing over time. But when really was the last time your organization went through and did a proactive thought exercise around the team's approach to using the updated tools and new tools that you've purchased over the years and integrating them into the business processes that you have so you can stay competitive, frankly, in the new market, right? That's what the collaboration design process is all about. And that's what we're going to close up the week's webinars with today. One of the key parts of this initiative we talked about briefly was identifying software overlap. So you'll hear throughout the presentation, there are lots of different times when organizations might have multiple pieces of software that do the same thing. I'm going to make sure that as part of the collaboration design exercise, you look for duplicates. You think about cross-platform integration challenges, right? Where is it hard to use these different tools together, especially if one person's on one and the other person's on another? And then be proactive about how you want to use it across the organization, right? We've seen this be one of the biggest drivers of overall business impact from an IT perspective, right? That's every IT leader's goal, is to actually be impactful to the bottom line, to drive business impact using technology. And this is one of the biggest impacts that we've seen. So once again, I want to thank you guys for coming and welcome back Natalie to walk us through how this works through the Worsta collaboration design platform.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Matt. And thanks for those of you who've joined today and those of you who've stuck with us through the 7-part series. I'm excited to wrap things up with you and kind of put a last chapter right on the story that we've told over the past few sessions. So I'm going to start out the chapter with some statistics, right? And really, when you look at these, prior to the COVID-19 world, it really probably comes no surprise to you that the majority of the workforce already regarded collaboration and teamwork as important, and that studies have been found that when workplaces fail, it's often due to a lack of collaboration or ineffective communication. I find it really important in some of the management research that we've done and that I've come across, that collaboration is in the top 4 important skills for employees' future success. So that brings up questions, right? In everything that I do leading my team and everything that we do leading the teams that we work with, what are we doing to support our people, to set them up for success? In this post-COVID-19 world, we need powerful tools to help collaborate and connect our employees in and out of the quote unquote workplace, right? The status quo just isn't cutting it. In fact, in a lot of ways, it's holding our people back. So in the first session, we shared this slide, and throughout the week, I've really wanted my team to really drive home that now more than ever, work truly is not a place you go, but rather a thing you do. Remote work, flexible work, these have all been perks or buzzwords for the past couple of years. But that pre-COVID-19 world, we saw only 4% of US workers regularly working from home. And in just a matter of months, it's become a necessity. We saw thousands of businesses sprint to stand up their remote workforce. And now during the crisis, companies are starting to realize the potential benefits of remote work and are considering continuing with remote work for some subset of their workforce, even after the crisis fades. So as remote work becomes this new normal, even more now than ever, it's critical that companies have the tools in place to enable the remote teams to be productive and collaborative and secure. So it's important to remember when you look at that, right, that not all remote work tools are created equal. And communication and access issues typically happen when a team is using the wrong tools. So legacy solutions aren't built to help people on distributed teams connect and collaborate in real time, right? These programs were initially built as on-prem solutions for solo work, which is why collaboration functionality that's been added in recent years feels bolted on, right, and clunky to use. Other applications may offer a quick fix, like Zoom, but they're not always secure. And when you're figuring out what collection of tools you need, you often think about how each tool solves a problem, but not how they'll all work together, which means there's often a lack of integration and a lot of siloing going on. So there was a study done by Culture Wizard, and it found that 86% of virtual teams report experiencing difficulties in communication. And so these tools we have access to define a remote work experience, if you will. And when COVID-19 crisis hit, a lot of people and companies weren't ready to work from home. Video conferencing apps saw a record 62 million downloads during 1 week in March as people scrambled for solutions. And as these statistics illustrate, a lot of people have had a lot of difficulty stemming from ineffective communication and having insufficient access to the information and the people they need. So what we're going to talk about for the rest of this session, right, is a little bit less about G Suite, because that's what we spend time over the 6 sessions prior here, and more about Worsta, right, and who Worsta is. And who we are is a collaboration design firm. And this means, at our core, we can help connect these dots. So whether you're an organization that needs help establishing a collaboration and communication strategy, making the move to G Suite, but even for those of you who've made the move to G Suite, we can help. If you're evaluating G Suite against other options and need help standing up a proof of concept that's going to deliver data and results, we can help. Or you're looking for a trusted partner that that not only can deploy G Suite to your organization, but has the industry-leading expertise in moving massive amounts of data with limited disruption to your people, right? In this people-first approach that not only helps you introduce new tools to them, but really inspires new ways of working, focused on increasing user adoption and time to proficiency. Or you need help reducing Microsoft Office licenses, increasing your Google footprint, transforming business process inside of G Suite, we can help. Or you really just need help innovating on the platform, we can help there too. Our collaboration design team has close to 100 combined years of experience and prides ourselves on not just being another Google Premier implementation partner, but a partner to our clients to help them pave the way for their organization to build the right solution for their users. We want to help you become a faster, more collaborative, connected, even a more dispersed organization that allows your people to focus on transforming and disrupting using the cloud technologies they have at their fingertips. So to talk about this a little bit more specifically, we have to start in where we start the process, right? And the way that we think about this is first working with our clients to understand value prop, right? Typically, this will align with a strategic business opportunity, like adapting to environments, right? You wanting to, adapt G Suite, innovating in your market, reducing costs, increasing collaboration. Or it's going to solve a specific business case or cases, like increasing productivity and collaboration, reducing licenses, building out an EFSS, increasing security, solving for shadow IT, or a consolidation of tools. So that being said, as the baseline, our collaboration design team can partner with you to provide either advisory services to help run a proof of concept, define opportunity, build business case, implementing G Suite, or helping you innovate. So let me dive in deeper to each of these. So in our advisory services, I'd say our goal, if we think about it in terms of ROI, right? Our goal is focused on partnering with you to create the story for ROI, right? So we can help you define strategy by helping you define opportunity or building a business case. Maybe this is around collaboration and communication, like I've mentioned, right? And I think we've been really focused on during this series. Maybe this is about connecting your remote workforce. Maybe it's an evaluation around consolidating tools and decreasing spend load and shadow IT. Or it's very specifically for those of you who are on G Suite, right? You want to develop a strategy to leverage the new Google Currents, right? This is the enterprise replacement of Google Plus that's built for businesses, built for, a social platform for the enterprise or for businesses or for your workplace. There's a McKinsey study that's super interesting that says up to 80% of businesses use social collaboration tools for enhancing business processes. But regardless, I could go down the tunnel of talking about currents and how this is really exciting in the way that companies are using it. But regardless, right, in all aspects, we can take a step back with you and look at current environment and help you really do a side-by-side comparison with the Google tool sets, and for that matter, with other collaborative technologies as well, to help you evaluate based on use cases, feature comparisons, security functionality, and a 3-year cost analysis. If you are currently evaluating G Suite, right, we can also help with a proof of concept. We have a formal 6 to say 12-week methodology, right, really depending on the size and complexity of your organization, where we can really help you evaluate G Suite. We help you not only define strategy that I just talked about, but really help baseline users understand current and future state environment, understand challenges and goals across leadership, and then methodically execute a proof of concept where a subset of your users can evaluate tools based on use cases and provide structured feedback on the experience that that we can analyze and deliver results. Or maybe you've made the decision to move to G Suite. We can also help you plan for your deployment through our deployment planning workshop. And it really can walk your team through each of the major work streams to address all the considerations and watch points when planning for a collaboration platform implementation, such as, right, provisioning and authentication and system access and the data migration and things like networking and mobile and document retention and security. And then the people side, the user readiness and the communications and the training. And then that last bullet, to me, right, in its most simplest form, we can also run a mini pilot, right? Or sometimes what we used to call conference room pilots when we actually were sitting all in conference rooms, right? Or even a transformation lab workshop, right? But the goal, right, to get a group of users together to get some early buy-in and excitement with the G Suite tools based on the needs of your organization. So in our implementation services, our goal is to help you achieve ROI. So we have a proven deployment approach that's focused on project governance, from establishing success criteria early on and developing KPIs to measure, and specifically to measure project readiness and temperature and success throughout, to project management and status reporting and issue and risk tracking throughout your project or your deployment or your initiative. But I want to take a step back, because our collaboration team obviously can deploy your organization to G Suite, but it's also important to understand that we can deploy many things for you post-deployment to G Suite too. So we firmly believe our work is not over just by leading your organization to Google in the first place. It's really only just begun. We work with on a daily basis, we work with our clients on deploying specific things that help them solve their business challenges and grow their Google footprint and increase ROI and keep them moving forward towards their goal. during, during the past few months, especially in the pandemic, we've worked with clients to deploy Meet in a more real way to their people, especially with all the new functionality that's been added to the video conferencing capability inside of Google that's called Meet. We've worked with our customers to better secure their environment, right? From running security audits and identifying risk and threats, to deploying DLP, to consulting services with some of our clients just to help them utilize and be certain they're using the G Suite enterprise security functionality to better secure and control their environments. We've helped organizations consolidate to save money in this time when companies are feeling more constrained by consolidating platforms. We've done a lot very recently. We've done a lot of Box and Dropbox migrations to Google Drive. We've helped a handful of organizations turn down services like Proofpoint or Mimecast to take advantage of like the world-class powerful spam filtering services that G Suite offers that they just weren't taking advantage of, mainly because they had, services like Proofpoint and Mimecast in place, way before the move to Google. When it does come to our approach in deploying G Suite to your organization, you should know, and I said it before, right? It's centered around your people, that targets core behavioral changes in how you work, and that you work at your organization. Our typical projects are made up of 3 work streams when we deploy to G Suite: overall governance or project management, a technical track, and a change management track. So first, the technical track. Our deployment engineers have some of the deepest knowledge in the Google partner ecosystem when it comes to migrating huge amounts of data. I am not just talking about mail, calendar, and contact, but deep expertise in helping our customers consolidate collaboration and storage platforms and migrating from on-prem file shares to, from Box or Dropbox to Google Drive. When you think about a data migration like that, it's a more complex migration than just mail and calendar, and it requires data mapping and managing bulk migrations against a number of Delta migrations in preparation for the final cutover. And we're so good at this that even some of the other Google partners in the ecosystem white label our engineers in their projects for their customers to have us manage the migration. We deeply understand the watch points that help clients manage the to really manage their user groups by going through a number of data mapping exercises really early on in the migration planning and the migration strategy. An example of this: at the end of last year, we moved just under 45 terabytes of data from Box and Dropbox for a global media company of over 2,000 employees to Google Drive. It was their effort to consolidate platforms for a consistent collaboration experience across the globe. So they had Box, some of their people were using Box, some were using Dropbox, some were using Google Drive. They needed the effort to be as seamless as possible for their people, which was going to be a challenge given the majority of their people worked across at least 2 of those 3 platforms regularly. So we were able to move everything inside of 3 months. Our tool was quick, our team was diligent, and we had a 99.9% migration success rate. And end users were minimally impacted to the way they work day in and day out. So the extensive planning paid off. The way we communicate really clear expectations for end users based on how we understand the migration to work and watch points, and very clear instructions to end users was executed really well. And we held daily office hours closer, leading up closer to prior to cutover week and during the cutover week, and even a few weeks after the migration, just where people could join and ask questions and report any issues or concerns and really receive the guidance that they need. So that's a little bit on the technical piece. To kind of wrap that up, our delivery team is made up of half tech experts and the other half people experts. And this is important because as technical a change may be to G Suite, it really is about your people. And our team has years of experience moving organizations to Google Cloud. And this is a team that loves what they do, and it shows. So think about it, moving an entire email system or file share collaboration platform in a matter, for some companies in the matter of weeks, and for other companies, right, in a matter of just a few months, that's a huge change, especially for your people. But we do it with hundreds of organizations each year. And this is because, our change management approach is centered around really 5 pillars, if you will. Empowerment, this is sponsorship. We take kind of a top-down approach, of course, but also a bottom-up approach. Alignment is really the firm understanding of an organization and the impacts on your people. Awareness is the communication and the marketing. Enablement is the training and the support, and measurement, which is, understanding that success criteria and properly measuring throughout. The key when it comes to a change like this, really, quite honestly, is to have fun, right? Tying it back to business problems, not just solving for IT problems. Earlier this year, we went live with on G Suite for a global AI technology company. We cut over from Office 365 to G Suite for close to 40 different locations across the globe, hundreds of users. And we did that cutover in one day, right? Obviously, there was a few months that we did preparing and migrating the data, but the actual cutover for this entire organization across the globe all happened on the same day. Their executive sponsor was so good at aligning this change to business strategy and mobilizing his people to take action. Actually, when he announced the move to G Suite, and the impacts that it was going to have on the way that they work together, he got a standing ovation. Their go live was filled with Google ambassadors in each of their 36 locations who could help direct people on day one and answer all the how-to questions and really celebrate the change. And I mean, this organization truly made the move to G Suite a celebration with balloons and posters and marketing materials, and they even did some contests. The change was talked about amongst their leadership as the most successful technology change they had experienced in the company's history. So it was a huge win. And then finally, right, long term, of course, we can also help your business. We can help with business value data, right? We not only track readiness and adoption throughout our deployments, but we can help build a foundation on tracking business value and adoption metrics throughout your lifetime on G Suite. Right, and identifying gaps and identifying challenges and needs, and we're constantly looking on with you on how to keep growing your adoption of the tools. And of course, we can provide training not only for your end users, but help train and enable your help desk teams, your admin teams, e-discovery teams, really to be ready to support your organization on the platform. And then finally, you have the innovate circle, right? So we've talked about advise and we've talked about implement, and so in our innovation services, our goal is to help you maximize ROI. Right? We've helped companies stand up their own center of excellence, or what Google calls an innovation council, inside their organization, and this is a group of people on a committee internally focused on, this kind of grassroots movement to increase adoption of tools and celebrating wins and ongoing education and identifying challenges and solving for them, business process transformation, and so on. And speaking of business process transformation, this is something our collaboration design team can help with as well, right? We can help reduce Microsoft Office licenses by redefining process inside of G Suite. Specifically, right, if there is a specific business process to solve for, we can deliver full services and go department by department to discover processes and pain points and business challenges, and then really start mapping processes and building a roadmap of priority and executing different sprints to redesign, implement, and measure business process transformation across the organization. We can also help with end user support systems. So this, to me, we can help literally on one end of the spectrum all the way to the other side, right? Meaning we have experience helping customers reinvent the way they deliver end user support by leveraging the intuitive G Suite experience and standing up more of a self-service support type system, all the way to the other extreme, where our support services team can partner with your organization, offering managed cloud, basically being a managed services provider to help offer support to your end users. To operational improvement with our managed cloud services, that really ties a lot about what we talked about all together, right? This is a program that's a flexible service to be used for technology initiatives such as increasing G Suite adoption and driving innovation, improving operational effectiveness, and really unlocking the full value of an investment in G Suite and other cloud technologies. This is a great way, again, a lot of work we've done with our managed cloud services customers is rolling out DLP, helping with a shared drives rollout, email and document retention, productivity training for their business groups, all the way to MDM and trusted endpoints and different services and consulting and training on Google Sheets into BigQuery and Data Studio and some of the GCP related opportunities. And it doesn't even have to actually be all G Suite related. So we've actually helped a number of our managed cloud customers roll out different Salesforce integrations, roll out Slack, Lucid Charts, Identity Force, to name a few. We've helped with emergency communications framework for a customer deploying OnSolve, consulted in a full SEC registration. So there's a number of ways our managed cloud services, is really a great way to maximize your use of the cloud by leveraging our expertise. And finally, of course, our team can help with, it's a completely separate team from mine, but we have a extremely talented team of application developers, right? That can come in and help with app dev opportunities, GCP services, to help reduce costs and expand infrastructure and be nimble and take advantage of ancillary services using APIs like computer vision and language and machine learning, to our managed data products like BigQuery and Cloud SQL, and help improve security controls and really redefining how organizations are thinking about infrastructure management. So with that, and just a couple minutes left, let me turn it back over, Matt, to you.
Talking into the mute. Thanks so much, Natalie. I appreciate it, and that was fantastic. So just a couple of quick notes on Worsta. We're an organization, we've been around for over 6 years. We are tightly partnered with Google. As you can see on the screen, we've worked really hard to earn our Google Premier Partner status, as well as our partner specializations in both work transformation and enterprise work transformation. And tying this all back to the idea of putting forethought into your collaborative efforts, this really means that in addition to our customers, Google trusts us and has certified us to work through collaboration design projects at the enterprise and SMB level on their behalf, right, along the Google platform. Our mature consultative approach, right, to customer success means you're going to have trusted advisors along the way. This isn't a come back once a year for a renewal type situation. We want to make sure, and the customers trust us, frankly, to meet with them monthly or quarterly to make sure they're moving the ball forward every touch and making the most of the technology platform that they have. Finally, the enterprise work transformation in particular is specifically special because we were required to earn over 20 certifications, and across the team, the group of us all had to rally and ensure that we met all of the criteria to really help at the enterprise level make recommendations and work through all of the different collaboration tools and business processes that you might expect at a larger or global enterprise. Really take that stuff to market and build it out for our customers and clients across the globe. Finally, I wanted to make sure that we had a second to show off some of our customer logos. I think it's important to note, we've talked about it, a little bit of it has been nebulous, a little bit of it has been more direct, right, in terms of refining your technology stack, consolidating spam filtering from Mimecast or Proofpoint onto Google's platform, or the document storage transitions that you might have from Box or Dropbox. We wanted to take a moment to show the slide and understand that some very large multinational global organizations that are using these collaboration design elements to really make sure they propel their business forward. And that's it. We look forward to partnering with you guys. We're super excited to have had the series and have all you guys attending. And our hope is that we'll hear from you, we'll reach out and can work together to really help define and revamp some of the ways that you collaborate internally, and hopefully start using more of the collaboration tools as remote work and ultimately the entire ecosystem and world continues to change and move forward. Thank you again and have a great afternoon.
Thanks, everybody.